It's just good to see you guys. I don't think I say that enough. Um, it's really good to see you guys. Welcome back to another installment of Still Single, hosted by I'm AlexWeber.org, Jordan Kahana, Moby, and Rob Michael Moore.
.gov.
.gov. We're your hosts of this lovely podcast. And guys, it's
Gosh.
December is upon us. We're here. Love is in the air. Do you guys feel the like festive spirit? Do you feel it?
It is nice, like having snow on the ground and having like seasons and feeling that change with like all of the marketing that comes with it. Granted, I'm not seeing a ton of commercials, but still like the idea of Thanksgiving, or like anytime I'm watching a football game or something like that, where I do see, it's like wearing fall clothing and jackets and scarves. And, in LA, you're like, yeah, I was at the beach. It was 85 today. It was beautiful. Like,
no, it's been cold in LA.
Has it?
Chilly. Yeah. I've been wearing my Carhartt jacket. I feel very cool.
Nice.
It's such a hot jacket. Let me just tell you.
How do you guys feel about all of the Christmas branding and Christmas trees and Santa and all that?
Are you just calling us out as Jewish right now?
I don't think I'm calling you out. I think that's a honest, that's
no, I'm kidding.
Very strong.
Mm-hmm.
You walk in. I mean, they push it a little too much because I think this year it was like November 1st and they were having like Christmas stuff, which I think is a bit much. But
yeah, Mariah Carey tried to make her song, like she did a Halloween transition, like it's November 1st, and everyone was like,
wow,
you're a month early. Like,
yeah,
listen, we love you. We know this is your time, but you're a month early. And I appreciate everyone like agreeing with that, because if everyone was like, hell yeah, let's start the Christmas music November 1st, it's like,
yeah,
Thanksgiving has its place culturally that I think we should honor.
I will say that this is the first year historically. My family doesn't celebrate Christmas. We don't really get into it. Noelle's family does, and Leia like gets excited about it, and she like will decorate a Christmas tree, and like her school, they celebrate Christmas. And I don't know, usually I'm very like, we're not celebrating Christmas, and like we're Jewish and we do that. And I mean, my identity and her identity is Jewish culturally and religiously. I will say that I'm like more open to just celebrating. Like festive is fun.
That's a good word. I mean, there's like the spiritual truths of all of these, and then there's tinsel and eggnog and like the fanfare. So I think to just have fun with the fanfare and not sweat. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like you have to be like, all right, Leia, well, if you're going to convert to Christianity,
Jesus Christo.
Yeah.
I like teach her some like Christmas Latin song.
Yeah.
I remember in high school, I was in choir, and we would always sing Jesus Christo. Like, it's just always
for high school, really?
Yeah. In high school, we were always singing about Jesus Christo because they were in Latin. And like looking back, I'm like, I knew more Christian holiday songs in Latin than I knew like Jewish songs. But yeah. Where are you guys traveling for the holidays? I know, Webbs, you have a wedding at the end of the year.
I do. Yeah.
Is it a New Year's Eve wedding?
It is. Yeah.
Oh, that's brilliant. I
think
that.
It is too. I think it's a great idea.
Are you
if you're
I mean,
just blackout in like his outfit, gosh. You mean?
I've been eating so many desserts because I'm like, well, if you're not going to drink, you can have all the cookies you want. And so
you got to get something. I mean, that's me with ice cream. Like I just eat it.
But out of all the holidays to have a wedding, I think New Year's Eve is the move. So if anyone like that's what I want my friends to do. I think it would be great. I've never been invited to a New Year's Eve wedding. I would love that. So
would Valentine's Day be a fun wedding, or is that too on the nose?
I was thinking more like you have everyone has the time off. So it's like,
right.
A Thanksgiving wedding or a 4th of July wedding or a Memorial Day weekend wedding, stuff like that, where you
Yeah.
have that like 3-day weekend type of thing.
Yeah.
That's fun. Where's the wedding?
It is in Wilmington, Delaware. So my buddy Grant,
Oh,
you guys have met Grant, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
nice.
are you officiating or is that a sore subject?
So it's extremely sore. Um, I don't know how to do this. I want to be very respectful of. I love them like very dearly. We all basically lived together with Maddie Grant and Grant's fiance, now wife Olivia. We all lived together in like a house in Venice. It was very like sitcom-y for like
Yeah.
2 years. We all got super close. And I was going to officiate Grant and Olivia's wedding. Uh, but like I understand that like some of the videos I've made or like passionate talks is not going to align with everyone. And I think it was more of a timing thing of like, well, actually, I think there's an important lesson here because it was more of like guilty by association. Like they didn't
Mm,
really care about the videos that I posted. And they actually were like, no, I get your points and all of that. But I was like invited to some events. And so I just went to those events, and those were with people that they were much, I think, more controversial. And
yeah.
that ultimately was like, hey, I don't think you can officiate our wedding. And I get it. It's like their special day. And that's like, so I do get it. Um, but I was also like pretty,
Upset.
I don't know, hurt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm going and I'm gonna bring so much love and
Good.
I'm gonna eat so many cookies. And yeah,
I mean, you and I have talked about that, and I think ultimately it is their special day, and like however you can to support them, and
yeah, I'll just steal the mic.
yeah, just steal a mic, get up there, be like, so there was this video that I made.
I'll act it out. Hold on.
Yeah,
Like,
let me get it.
Love is like taking the early flight home from San Diego, and then two naked guys come out of your bathroom. I was just actually watching that movie. So
Old school, so good,
yes, it's so
so
good.
good. Like there aren't any what
there's
we don't
not,
have an
The
man.
old school
R-rated
anymore.
comedies just went away.
Yeah.
It's
Like
I
it's
mean,
I feel
unfortunate.
like they died with The Hangover. Like The Hangover was the last one
Mhm.
there's
series.
I mean, it's kind of on what we're talking about though, because it's like there's this guy who did like comedy study, and he's like, you need benign violation, which means like a lot of humor is like mildly offending people, but
Right.
it's in like good spirits, and then you laugh. But it's like, I think it's tough to make people laugh now without like, it's
Offending
just
them,
the reality. Yeah.
Well,
which is
there's
so
that.
sad.
Yeah, I also, I mean, we can fall down this rabbit hole of like Hollywood needing to bank solely on like Marvel movie. It's either like an absolute home run, otherwise, like even look at Black Adam right now. I've seen a lot of articles about that, how they're going to lose 50 to $100 million on that release, that theatrical run. I know. Well, here,
Why?
like,
What is like how come?
well, they said they needed to, well, with marketing and everything involved. I said the articles are saying that they needed to hit 600 million to break even.
Oof.
And yeah, the pups, they're there.
Oh,
Whoa. Oh, I'm gonna mute for a second.
Okay. I mean I've seen The Rock like promote about Black Adam, but I didn't know that it was going to be a 50 to $100 million loss. That's a
are you
lot of
all? Are
money.
you gonna see it?
No, I have no desire to see
Well,
it.
you
Do
could.
you?
It could only be. It would only be 99,999,010
Ten
less.
dollars
Yeah,
less
Rob
if
Moore.
I
I'm
go.
not gonna. I'm not gonna see it either. I'm not gonna
Yeah,
see
I'm
it
not gonna see it.
either.
Is Black Adam a black
It's a
superhero?
it's a DC thing, and it's the superhero Shazam that
Yeah.
they came out with,
Right.
that movie. So I read that he's a villain to that guy.
Okay.
I don't know much about comic books, but this is what I've read, and I'm not a huge MCU or even DC guy. But hey, can you? Okay,
So
thank you.
so Black Adam is, oh wow. Yeah, I just Googled it. Will Black Adam break even for Warner Brothers? Yeah, we'll
Isn't
see.
it? It's interesting. There's just like so many things going on in the world. Like my mom and I got lunch, and
Yeah.
the World Cup was on, and I haven't really watched very much, and it's just like the World Cup. Like that's such a thing. And then Black Adam's going on.
Then you got Black Adam
And that's
playing.
it. That's all that's going on in the world is the world's
I'm
going
such
to
a fan
Black
of The
Adam.
Rock though, so it's like I'm sad that he's not doing well. I just like
Really?
him. I like his hustle and
Is
his
he not
bald
doing
head.
well?
No, he's doing fine. He probably
He's
I think
he's
he's
doing
doing pretty darn
he's
well.
doing fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
He's
I'm
made a lot
sure.
of bad movies in his career. This is just another one
sure.
that gets added to it, and we just move on. But speaking of things that are going on in the world, this is a
Yes.
great transition. Merriam-Webster, the dictionary, came out with its
Ah,
word of the year for 2022. And I was going to say, do you guys want to guess? But I already texted you what that word is. And for strategy of, so the word is gaslighting. And that is behavior that's mind manipulating, grossly misleading, and downright deceitful. And it also says the origin of the word stems from a 1938 play and 1944 film titled Gaslight, where, according to CNN, a nefarious man attempts to trick his new wife into thinking she's losing her mind, in part by telling her that the gas lights in their home, which dim when he's in the attic doing dastardly deeds, are not fading at all. The play and film were beloved, and the movie being nominated for Best Picture at the Oscars.
wow.
So you texted us being like, let's,
Mm-hmm.
gaslighting is the word of the year. And
Mm-hmm.
I actually just went and got my shoulders lasered. I did laser hair removal.
Prove it.
I they're so soft, dude. Oh, they're all red.
Wow.
How many sessions do you have to do for that?
Dude, look, they're so smooth.
So
Yeah.
smooth, right?
Congrats, man.
Thanks.
That's exciting.
Yeah, it was just time, It was just time. I'm like planning on doing some thoughty like Jordan Kahana photos, maybe like top of
Oh,
the
yeah.
year.
Nice.
And
Nice.
Nice.
How exciting.
yeah, I feel like just a wax
Well, you're
lasered
jacked
shoulder.
right now.
Dude, I'm getting strong. I'm really getting strong.
Does it show? Does it show? Like what made you? Because I did some cosmetic surgery actually earlier this year that I've been thinking about for a long time.
Yeah.
And so I mean,
What
your
made me
hairy.
do it? I've always been like joking about my kind of like my body, and I feel like I
Mhm.
have this like Will Ferrell-esque sensibility to myself, but I'd like to
Mhm.
be more of like a Ryan Reynolds, like more fit version of myself, and
Mhm.
see like what kind of roles and what kind of opportunities I can create in that. So I felt with like the more I'm exercising, the more I'm, just changing. I always like joke about my hairy shoulders, and I just like not vindicate. I just make fun of myself, and I was
Behoove.
just like,
Yeah.
yeah, the hoop. So, anyways, I was just like, let's laser them. Let's see what happens. I have no
Uh-huh.
idea what's gonna happen, but I already feel sexier.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a mole on the side of my face,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I
I
had been
remember your
for
mole.
years. And finally, do you?
I totally remember your mole.
Oh,
It was like your signature mole.
was it? I don't think it was like Cindy Crawford, but I'm surprised that you say that because a couple of my other best friends, when I got it, they're like, "Wait, you had like they had no idea." So I'm
I totally
impressed.
remember your mole.
Yeah.
It was a
So
great mole.
thank you.
I
Iconic.
never thought it was. Yeah, it was an
Thank you. Yeah,
iconic
it,
mole.
it blended in with my beard, so it wasn't that big of a deal or things like that. But once I did it and it healed up, I was like, I should have done this years ago. Like
Yeah.
this is
Right.
great.
Well, so
Very
I bring up this story
inconsequential.
because
Yeah.
as I was getting my first they shave your shoulders. So
Hmm.
I'm getting my shoulders shaved by Danny, very,
Nice.
very sweet assistant. And we're like, having some small talk. And I was just like, hey, by the way, the word of the year this year is gaslighting. And then the other technician was in there, and like I basically was just like, wow, what does that say about our society? Like where we're at
Hmm.
right now.
Right.
Like that we're in this manipulative saga of, I don't know, just like malicious manipulation. It's sad, really.
Well, yeah,
I
I
agree.
think a lot of it ties into the discussion that we had a couple episodes ago between fuckboys and being like the transition from,
Narcissist.
yeah, everyone was like a fuckboy and now everyone's a narcissist who's gaslighting you. And it's just, there's a consistency there of like misinformation or just trying to also like mental health is a big player in that, like the way that
So
they describe that.
I
Yeah.
definitely agree that mental health is we're in trouble. But let's kind of break it down a little bit. Like, why do we think? And I have a little theory. Maybe there's more gaslighting happening because there's less communication, like real communication happening, because there's too much communication happening. Like, I'm thinking back to my great grandparents, and they wrote each
Oh
other
yeah.
letters. And
Hmm.
that was like, you had to be very intentional in the words that you're literally scripting out and writing. And now, I mean, I think there's like 20 billion texts sent a day or
Right.
something. Like, there's so much information and constant communication happening, but like, are we
Hmm.
really communicating?
There's also more opportunity to like find out what is actually happening. And I think that's been interesting because of the internet, like you can have people in different parts of the world record a video and then you read an article and you're like, hold on, that article doesn't match what that video is. So like, and that very well may have been happening in like the 1800s and the 1900s, like who the heck knows?
Yeah.
But there was just the newspaper or the one radio show. So I guess you were just like, that's what's happening in the world. But now, after like seeing what's been going on, and this is not even like a red or left because you can look at it either way. Like, I just don't think you know who to trust. Like,
Yeah.
is Elon a great guy or is he awful? Is Twitter good or is Twitter bad? Is the government good or is the government bad? Or like, are these big organizations good or are they bad? Are news channels good or bad? So I think, and truly, I think there's so much to back up that they're like all of these are not looking out for you.
Right.
Like that, I guess for me with gaslighting, it's just like, gosh, that commodity of trust is just like so it's just such an amazing thing. And it's I don't know, I feel like we're all like kind of guarding it more because who knows who's what.
I mean, trust is like, I was talking to someone today, and I was like, if I'm in a relationship, trust is the number one thing. As soon as you don't have
Right.
trust, there's no relationship. That's like the thing to have. And I feel like with these institutions, yeah, our trust has been sabotaged a little bit, especially over COVID and everything that's happened over the last couple of years. But I think kind of refocusing it to like relationships and like gaslighting in relationships. I've definitely been gaslit, and I've talked to many women I've been on dates with that have also been gaslit by their exes. And it's like, when you actually break it down, it's so manipulative.
Mm,
Like, it's literally like, it makes you feel crazy. It makes you feel like your reality
right.
does not exist. And I don't even know if it's behavior that's necessarily intentional. And that, I think, is what's worrisome from the perpetrator, from the person that is like
Mm,
actually gaslighting. I don't know if they're like, oh, I'm going to
mm,
gaslight them. You know what I mean? Like, if you cheat on somebody, it's like, you're cheating on somebody.
right.
But if you gaslight somebody, does your brain even, do you know what I'm saying?
Clock it as wrong, or is it just how you operate?
Right. Like, it's just like it's just your style.
Yeah. Probably what you're like, I agree. Probably it's just what you're doing. And it's just like, you're like, all right, well, if I'm doing awful things, let me justify those awful things. And by making you seem like you're
Crazy.
crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to watch that movie. That actually sounds like an awesome movie. Not a good thing to do to someone, but an awesome movie.
Great movie. Uh yeah. And there's a TV series out right now called Gaslit,
Hmm.
but I haven't watched that. Um Jordan, I'm curious what you're looking at.
I'm trying to look through the past years of what the word of the year was,
Oh,
um,
interesting.
just to kind of see like if there is a progression of where we are a bit more as a
Right.
society.
What was the sluttiest year on?
Probably 1999.
Ooh,
Oh,
Um,
yeah, that
such a
was
hot year.
just
such a
just
slutty
makes me
year.
think of like
Y2K.
Spring Break, MTV Spring Break 99, like just
Man.
I feel like there was some slutty years in like 1973,
Oh yeah.
1974.
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
The,
Were the
free love.
60s or the 80s?
80s too. People were fucking in the 80s, man.
What about the tens? What do they call those? The
The,
The
20
t-
teens.
the teens.
the 19 teens. I
Like
don't know if
the
people were. I don't think pornography. I don't think pornography was really around in 19 teens.
no, like the 20 like the 20 teens.
The 20 teens. What do we call the tens of the 2010s?
I heard someone say the aughts,
No,
just
that's not
weird.
real. What
Yeah,
is
the
it?
aughts. Yeah.
What? I've never heard this term, the aughts.
You've never heard of it before?
You're talking about the time period from 2000 to 2010
Correct.
is
Actually,
called
2000 and 2009.
is called the aughts.
Yes.
I don't believe you. I
Yeah,
think you're making this up.
because aughts is the digit zero. Aughts meaning, yeah, the decade from 2000 to 2009. AUGHT.
If I've
Back in
been
the
living
early
under a
aughts,
rock.
he worked as a marketing specialist. That's funny that that's the quote that they have.
Dude, can I ask you guys just like this is out
Please.
there, and so if it's too
Let's
out there, we'll
go.
bring it
This is
on
an out
back.
there episode. I
But
feel it.
like, but like we just said the aughts, and my mind just was like, are we gonna keep doing this? Like, are we gonna be in the 3000s being like the 3000 aughts? Like, I guess like civilization, humanity, technology, like it's gotten so nuts in like a year, 3 years, 5 years, like seriously. And every time it gets nutter, the exponentiality of like how much more nutty it can get quicker grows. So I guess I'm like, are we making it to 3000? Do you know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's no guarantees.
20, wait, we're
Mhm.
2000. Are we making it to like 2100?
Yeah, there's definitely no guarantees. And I would say, but I don't think it's good to live with that notion of like there's no guarantees or like it doesn't matter. Like it, you know, I think it's better to live like, yeah, we're gonna, some technology that you're gonna create right now is gonna help people in 2600. I don't know. We won't be here. I mean,
Yeah.
Weber's like, I
We're
might
gonna
Yeah,
record
he's
still
like,
single.
it's just
still
never
single.
ending. I will say
Episode
that I will say the
7000.
word back in 2013 was just like a simpler time. It was just straight up science. And then 2014 was just culture. It was just we were just like in a easier time.
A more wholesome
So
place.
yeah. Um and then it goes, so I'll go from 2012 was socialism slash capitalism, and then it goes science, culture for 2014. 2015 is ism, the actual suffix, which is interesting. 2016 is surreal. 2017 is feminism. 2018 is justice. 2019 is they, used to refer to a single person whose gender is intentionally not revealed. 2020, any guesses?
2020.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's pandemic.
that
2021
feels right.
vaccine, and then here we are, 2022 gaslighting.
Ism is where it started to go off the rails.
Ism, yeah, I think
They got a
so
little too
too.
cute with that.
Mhm.
Have you guys ever been gaslit or have you gaslit anybody?
Yeah, I definitely feel like I've been uh, gaslit before. I don't know if I've ever intentionally like gaslit someone, but
I had an ex tell me literally like you're crazy. You need to go to therapy.
Wow.
And I was like, cool, cool, cool.
Was she right?
I mean, I was going to therapy at the time, but I guess I wasn't going enough. Um, and then yeah, man, I just
do you think
remember
that's gaslighting though? Do you think you needed that? Like, do you agree with that? I mean, you were in therapy, and her being like, "You need to go to therapy," is like almost a factual state. You're like, "Trust me, I know. I'm doing
it
it."
wasn't as like she said, like you need to go to therapy. She's like, maybe you would benefit from going more regularly. Like looking
Mm,
back, I think it was actually a pretty fair suggestion. Um, there were other things, but I don't feel comfortable bringing them up
mhm.
that like definitely spiraled me into a bit of like I think I'm going crazy.
Well,
Hmm.
yeah. Like, I mean, gaslighting would be going back to like how I was saying the sun setting earlier than normal. And Alex was like, imagine you were the only person doing that. If I was like, guys, the sun is setting
Oh
at
yeah.
4:45. What is happening? And you're like, Jordan, what are you talking about? Like
Yeah.
that's true.
That's gaslighting. That seems. I feel like gaslighting is almost like it's positioning the blame onto somebody else.
well,
So if you were like, yeah.
how they
Like,
described it also with the movie is that he was doing some like nefarious stuff in the attic or something, and the lights
Right.
were dimming, and he's like, "No, they're not. You're going crazy. They're not actually doing this." And she's like, "No, I mean, I think it is like a psychological tactic of torture for some people too, like legitimately, where it's just like, hey, I think like your work wife or that person that you're talking to at work, or who are you texting, and you're like, nothing's happening, nothing's going on, and then you check your phone or something, or their phone,
Yeah.
yeah,
and
I have
and
a
it
theory
is.
on that. This is really we're talking relationships.
Please.
Uh it's always how it looks. I learned that. Like I was in a long relationship and we weren't a fit. We dated for 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
Great person, just not a fit. And she would always go, "Hey, like, is there like a little flirty vibe with like you and this girl?" And we were totally, there wasn't anything I guess like dangerous there, but like there was a little bit of a flirty vibe. And I'd be like, no, 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 no. And I'd be like, hey, like you and this guy that your brother introduced you, like he just moved to LA. Like, is there a flirty vibe there? And she'd be like, no, 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 no. When we broke up, like a while later, we got coffee, like maybe 6 months later, and we both asked each other, hey, after we broke up, did something happen with you and that person? And we both go, yep. So it's just like I think my lesson there was it's always how it looks.
yeah. And I mean that goes back to like if your gut is thinking like something's not right, then it's usually
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
remember my butt like saying, like, if it walks like a duck and sounds like a duck, it's like probably a duck.
It's a duck.
Yeah. Do you have a question, Alex? Because I have something that I can present.
Mine was more of a comment from for someone, which I'll say at the end. But yeah, hit the question.
Okay. Um, let's see if this works. So, hey Jordan, I'm a still single fan, and I want to ask a more personal question. You travel, and we all travel, so I felt like this applied to everyone. And I'm traveling for an extended period of time, flying to Cape Town. That's awesome. I'm going to skip that part. I wanted to know if you've had any success with dating apps while traveling.
Jordan?
Jordan?
The thing that I skipped is she goes, and because you're the dating app pro. I don't know if I'm the dating app pro, but there's just um yeah, there's definitely been some success. I think like uh it's an interesting way of navigating things, especially depending on how long you're going to be in that city. It gives you a little bit more wiggle room of like, hey, show me your, there's people that I see all the time while on dating apps that is like, I'm just in town for the weekend or here for work for the week. Like, would love to explore or do stuff like that. I've seen, as I'm swiping and all that kind of stuff in the past. So it's a great way to like not be so lonely sometimes.
I was gonna say,
And
like that's what I
Yeah,
do. Or that's
yeah.
like my MO when I'm in a new city for the weekend or something. I'll like download Bumble or and
mhm,
I'll be like, hey, in town for just the weekend or whatever. And like
yeah,
you can strike up a conversation and at least not feel so lonely.
Freshly shaved shoulders.
Freshly
yeah.
lasered
What's your
shoulders.
stance on shoulders?
They're clean. I think from that question, like I mean, the three of us have all like we'll land in a place and we'll be there for the weekend and we're like, all right, I'm gonna swipe and just see what happens. And I think it's a
Mhm.
very normal thing because during those, like Jordan said, during those travel times, you do feel lonelier and like you can kind of you're like, especially if you're traveling by yourself, I personally am like, oh, I would love to just connect with somebody. Like I genuinely would love to just meet somebody. So I say, fuck yeah, just put it on one of the prompts, like, hey, in town for the weekend,
Mhm.
and just start swiping your little tits off.
Yeah.
Swipe
Is
those,
that a shirt?
yeah,
Is
yeah,
that a
swipe
shirt?
your little tits off. Oh,
Do
we gotta
people
get our
want these
merch going.
shirts?
They really do. I feel like the three of us, we are ready for two things,
What
and
are we
two
ready for
things
now?
for Still Single.
Mhm.
One.
One is we're ready for merch, 100%.
Okay.
We are
Okay.
definitely ready for merch, and like think of all the fanfare of like our fans like getting the shirt and then taking a photo and posting
I
it. Like
love it.
they're gonna
Swipe
be
in my Tyattsov, Tyats. I think that's absolutely
no,
hilarious shirt.
it's swipe your lil tits tots
Oh,
off. It's
okay.
lil tots, lil
Okay.
tots. And then the second thing, and we've been saying this for 2 months, we need to do a live show.
Right.
I
Like
think it's longer than 2 months, honestly.
I think it's been like
Yeah.
6 months.
I think it's Austin. Someone reached out and said, didn't we all?
Yeah, we agreed on Austin. We need to just set a date.
Okay.
So
Those sound like good things.
Webbs, you said you had a comment?
The comment was, and Catherine, thank you so much for this. She also sent a voice note, which was, we have just cool we have cool fans, like they're
I
cool
agree. I
people.
love our fans.
I when you all send us messages, we'll obviously we'll click on your profile and just be like, say something. And like everyone's cool people doing cool things. She said she really enjoyed, and obviously I'm coming from a place of like, I think I had insecurity that I was in a relationship, but she just said that she really appreciated all three of our unique perspectives on dating and relationships, and that we each have like a different energy and outlook. And obviously where we're at.
100%. I got a message from Rachel, one of our followers, Rachel, and she said the same thing. She's like, I'm really glad Alex is in a relationship because
Thank you so much.
we get don't fuck it
Don't
up.
jinx it. Don't jinx it.
Don't jinx it.
I'll do that myself.
We get so many perspectives, by listening to Still Single. So I feel like this was such a heady episode. What we got so heady. Did you guys feel I feel like we all like smoked a J before we like hit record today. We're just like, stop. Let's talk about the society we live in.
Yeah, we got deep.
Yeah, it was good.
Deep. Do you want a closing word? What do you guys feel?
Sure. What was your word of the year? Do you have one?
Ooh, that's such a good question.
I just watched the movie Eat, Pray, Love, and they talk about like what is your word? And
Oof.
so
you know what, dude? This just popped out and I'm not
Mhm.
gonna fight it. Prevail.
Prevail. That's a
Nice.
good word. It's strong. You're
Yeah.
like Mel Gibson in Braveheart.
Oh.
Yeah.
Never seen Braveheart.
What?
Yeah.
That is homework. You gotta watch Braveheart. Even
I'll
though
watch
Mel
it.
Gibson is yet another anti-Semite,
Yeah.
he
I don't
is a
know.
great actor in Braveheart, and I love that fucking movie.
I know. Dude, we're at such a nutty time with just like artists work, and then there's just so many
Hatred of
examples
Jews.
this.
Yeah, it's like they
And
make
just the
great
hatred,
art,
yeah.
and then they just hate Jews blatantly
Exactly.
and publicly, and we
Rob-
just say,
Rob, do you have a-
okay, yeah, but the
There's
shoes
people
that
that
they
do
make.
stuff with kids too. It's not just Jews. There's kids. People do kiddie stuff.
You're right. There are pedophiles, and then there's Jew haters. You're right. Those are the two. There's Jew haters and then pedophiles, but great artists. We love their art. Yeah, it's a crazy time.
Human beings are so nutty.
Yeah.
Do you have a word?
Do I have
Rob?
a word, Jordan?
I can go if you need.
Authentic.
Ooh,
That is
why
my
is that?
Ooh.
What's that? Why?
Authentic because
Yeah.
any time that I've been in a stressful place this year or just felt like I'm losing my North Star, I just try and tap into like, what is my authentic self? Like, who am I?
That's
And
good,
and learning to love that authentic version of myself. It's a daily effort, but I'm growing and it feels good. So authentic is my word for this year.
That's
That's
awesome.
good.
Snaps for that. I will say my word is chaos.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that, man.
It's just been a little chaotic of a year, both good and bad. I think I thrive oftentimes in chaos, so I don't always look at it as like a terrible outlook. But yeah, it's come up throughout the year a few times, and so yeah, I think that's how my year has somewhat played out, like chaos.
Chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Chaos is kind of cool. I mean, great
Yeah.
things come from chaos.
Exactly.
It's true.
Great things do come from chaos. Well, so on next week's episode, for our listeners, we're going to be doing like a Spotify wrap of our dating.
Oh, we are
Our-
doing this.
You're guaranteeing that.
Yeah, I'm putting that out there because I think it's too good. So one of
Okay.
our listeners suggested that we do like a Spotify wrap up of like all the dates that we went on this year, and like did we go for drinks or did we go for coffee? Did it lead to a second date? So we're gonna do some work for you guys, and next week's episode will be super fun, where we do our dating wrap up for 2022.
Do we wanna own our reality of why like it's a little bit shorter of a episode? If not, I'll trim this.
Oh no, yeah. I mean, usually we're like an hour long, but we gotta go.
Did I make it weird?
Is
I
that
was just gonna.
is that me calling me out?
No,
Oh.
I can trim this. I was well, is our episode shorter or no?
Yeah. This is. I mean, we don't even have to end. We could keep going. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I can. I have a couple minutes. We can. I
Okay,
would like.
we're good.
It would be interesting to hear, as opposed to like Alex as an outlet for you too, as opposed to because you are in a relationship. Maybe a breakdown of like the dates and the movies and the activities that you've done with Sam versus like pre leading up to Sam. That way, you're not like, cool, I did all. There's a
Dated
little.
1,000 women this
Yeah, I
year.
went
I
on
did do
37 first dates.
I mean, I've gotten
that's a nice
feedback from
gesture. Thanks,
friends
guys.
that listen to the. Sorry, I cut you off. What'd
No,
you say?
good. Go. No, I said
I
that's a
got
nice
feedback
gesture. Thanks, guys.
from a friend being like, "Yeah, Rob, you seem a little slutty," and I'm like, "What? I'm not slutty. I'm the sluttiest."
The most.
You're not. You're not.
I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious.
A little stitious. Well, guys, I think this has been a great episode. We had a really bumpy ending. I would say this is one of the bumpier endings to any of our episodes. But
I'm gonna.
He's gonna cut that. He's gonna
no,
cut
you're not.
it.
I edit the episodes. You're not going to do
I
anything.
know. I've only done it if someone says a wild card thing. Well,
wait. Let's do a final thought.
landing?
Let's do a final thought.
Okay.
Let's do a final thought. Let's all take a breath.
Mm-hmm. Ooh,
That's good.
yeah.
Okay, final thought. It's 2022. It's the end of the year. Jesus Christo's birthday is coming up. I think my final thought is I like myself, and I'm learning to not be so judgmental on myself. And I want to bring that energy into 2023.
I mean,
snaps all around.
Sanity,
Yeah. I'll go. I'll let Alex close this out. I want to thank Rob for pushing us to do these every single week. There have definitely been some windows of time where it's just like, let's take a break, and then we're doing the episode and it's like, okay, it's good. I'm glad we hit this mark, and to stay consistent with that. And whether or not we take 20 minutes to find our groove or fall off the rails at the end, we still hit our stride at some point in time. And it's just staying consistent is really what's important. So thank you for that. Alex, thank you for your commitment to this with all of your travel and your family stuff and your moving around and the chaos that is your life to be here. So, and your authentic self, using some words and all that kind of good stuff. So those are just some of my final thoughts. Today, I just haven't been feeling like my best self lately. And so this is always a very grounding moment. So I appreciate you guys giving me the space and the feedback that we get, and the audience is just really nice to hear from you guys and to be here and sitting with both of you for that.
Those are so good.
Namaste.
Thanks, man.
That was really nice.
Oof, these are good, guys. All right. I'm like a little squirrely today. Is that coming through?
A
And
little bit. A little bit.
I'm gonna say two things. One is I'm super grateful for both you guys because even when I'm squirrely and I'm bouncing around, I don't know. This really is just talking with two of my best friends, and like oftentimes we'll just kind of forget that this is part of a podcast because it's just so fun to see you guys and talk about things. And I'm super grateful that it's also been this cool through line for us to we all talk all the time, but just like through line to like really ensure that we stay in touch. And for that reason, I hope that there's a long, long life to this. Don't jinx it. And then so I'm super grateful for you guys. On like a personal note, I'll just say to whoever needs to hear this, man, this journey is just it's ongoing. And I don't know, like there's highs and there's lows, and there's moments where you feel like you have it all together, and then you'll have a moment where you're like, wow, I'm really not as together or mature or over that thing as I thought I was. So just to know that it's okay to still be on the journey. I don't think that journey may ever end. Um, yeah, so maybe just some love and grace for ourselves on this journey of ours.
Snaps. Love that.
Get
Snaps.
snaps, get snaps, get snaps.
That was great. Grace. I love Grace. Ah, well, that is today's episode of Still Single. Follow us at We Are Still Single, at I'm Alex Weber, at Jordan Kahana, and I'm at Rob Michael Moore. And we'll be back next week. We love you guys, truly. Like,
Love
you
you
guys'
guys.
comments, everything, your earballs. We really, really appreciate you. So, much love.